The parable that you heard, Matthew chapter 25, from verse 14, it's called the parable of the talent. It's been preached so often, and sometimes we ask ourselves, don't we need to remind ourselves of some of these things? But I need to explain to you what a parable is. We've heard it said that it is a story that has earthly words with heavenly meaning. And that, I think, gives it a very clear understanding. A parable, it is a compound Greek word that talks about comparable. It is comparable to something else. It is using earthly things and comparing it to heavenly things. Comparable. So therefore it's a double meaning word, a double word that comes out of the Greek. So here's what it says. Christ spoke in parables, and sometimes it upsets some people because they said, why is it you keep talking in parables? Well, parable is not to reveal truth. It is to hide truth from those that it makes no sense to, that it would not help them. So Christ spoke in a parable. Those who sought truth will find it. But those who don't want it, they will miss it. And sometimes, because the reason why is because sometimes some people are not ready for some stuff. They're not ready yet for some truth. And even our parents hid truth in quote-unquote sayings of old time. Green leaf not rotten when it just fall of water. And what did they mean by that? As you grow older and you recognize that some of the things you used to eat from young and now it start to affect you, you now have high blood pressure, you now have all of this, you now recognize green leaf did not rotten the same day it fall in water. It now start to rotten later on. And so they talk about a stitch in time saves 9. It's not a Bible verse, though some people quote it as a Bible verse. But it talks about that at some time it is better that you do something in the right time. It saves you a lot of trouble later on. But after you get in trouble, then you recognize, oh, I should not have done this. I could have saved myself a lot of trouble in my life. A stitch in time saves 9. And so we have so many of these things that we only recognize as we grow up. Christ spoke in parables. And this parable, he gave the parable of the talent. A talent, what is a talent? A talent really is a weight of gold, a measure of gold. And from what they tell me, it is that it is worth 20 years of earnings. One talent. So Christ gave one person 5. Could you imagine how much money he would have given that person? If one talent is 20 years of earnings, and he gave one person 5, one person 2, and one person 1. I want you to recognize everybody did not get the same talent. And we've come to accept talent to mean more than just gold, but what God has given and vested us with. An ability, a skill, a talent that we have that God has given us with. And here's what we do know. Everybody doesn't have the same talent. Don't therefore get jealous with people who have a talent that you don't have. You can't handle their talent. I love to hear good singing. I can't sing. But I don't jealous good singers because that's not just mine. It's not my talent. And so there are people who just get jealous about people who have been blessed with certain things, and it's not for you. It's not for your time. And so therefore just watch people with their blessings, watch people in their gifting, and just be happy for them. Don't try to get it. This is why he never gave everybody the same amount of talent. In fact, this is what the Bible says. He gave everybody according to their ability. I can't handle some of the... If there are some people should not get rich, I've always said so. They should never get money because they can't handle money. Yeah? And there are some people should not get a good job because they will mess it up. And there are some people deserve it because they can handle it. So it's according to a person's ability. 5, 2, and 1. And the Bible says, The kingdom of heaven is likened unto it. So it was a kingdom message he was trying to bring to them. That the kingdom of the message is like a boss, a manager, an owner who was going to take a trip to a far country, but he's not going forever, he will be coming back. Does that sound familiar? Yeah, yes, I'm telling you. Because we know that the person who gave us our ability or talent and whatever it is that we have, they have left and he has said, I'm going to prepare a place for you, and where I'm going, that I will come again and receive you unto myself. So he's not going to go forever. But he has left us with certain talent and ability in the meanwhile whilst he's gone. He's expecting that you are going to invest what you have. Remember when we spoke about kingdom economy? Kingdom economy is not on savings. It's on investment. We believe in savings. People have saved hundreds of thousands of dollars and lost it when the economy went bad. People who have invested always gain from whatever it is that takes place, because it's an investment. Investment is a better method. In fact, one person in the Bible, he said, listen, you know, my ground brought forth very good. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to break down my barns, and I will build bigger barns to save my money. I'm going to change the bank. I'm going to move from credit union. I'm going to get myself into a nice big bank, and I'm going to save my money. And the Bible called him a fool because he was into savings. Now, am I saying that people should not save money? Of course not. Don't make savings your investment. Investment is something that you put to multiply. God is in the multiplication business. Always. He's in the multiplication. The first thing he told Adam and Eve, be fruitful and divide. This is multiply. God is in the multiplication business. And so he has always wanted things to multiply. So whatever it is he gives you, you are to find a way to multiply. He has given you a talent. Each one of us have a talent. And I want you to notice, he gave 1 5, 1 2, 1 1, gave none. Everybody had a talent. Sitting in this room here today, wealth of talent, with people who God has blessed tremendously to be able to be of service in the kingdom. The question that I have to ask to everybody here, the talent that you have, are you investing it in the church? Are you investing it in the kingdom? Is there something that we are gaining from you with the talent that you have? Here's what the master came back and he said, okay, now I've given you all of this. The man with 5, come. Let me hear what you have to say for yourself. He said, well, let me tell you what I've done with your 5. Lord, I had your 5, and I invested it, the Bible says, and look at it, I got another 5. I said, you know, that's not a bad idea at all. You did well. And he says, the Bible says that he commended him and welcomed into the kingdom because you have done well with what you have done. He praised him. The other guy came and said, you know, I did the same thing too. Funny enough, I didn't get 10, but I got 4 because I had 2. Well, he didn't get 10, but still, in coming up with less, he was praised because he did the best with what he had. That's what you've got to do. Do the best with what you have. And then he went to the 1. The 1 never multiplied it, but it's the first excuse you're now hearing. Lord, I know you are not an easy guy. People who don't progress in their life, who don't multiply their talent, who don't invest their time, their energies, and their skill, always find an excuse, somebody to blame why they don't use it. Those who use theirs never came up with an excuse. I'm sure that they had it hard to invest it. The man who had 5, he went through some sort of troubles and challenge to be able to invest the 5. He would have had his struggle, but he got his 5. The man with the 2, he would have had that too, but he never dealt with his excuses. But the man with the 1 came up to justify, I could not use my talent. I wonder how many people here have a talent and they're not using it. And saying, no, the church don't want to use my talent. Nobody asks me. coming up with all sorts of things. But there are people who just volunteer it. Why? Because God has blessed me with this, and I want to volunteer it. Always see, the reason why you are converted into the kingdom is because God intends to multiply the kingdom with your talent, whatever that talent is. Some people could cook. We could use that. Trust me. We could use that. There are some people who are good with numbers, good with accounting. We could use that on the financial committee. There are some people who just have a nice spirit, a nice attitude. They're very happy, go lucky and so on. They may not have money and all of that, but they have a nice spirit. We could use that. Welcoming people, making people feel comfortable and nice. There are people who have patience, who could be able to sit down and listen to people with their old talk for long. There are people who just have this knack to listen to other people. That could be used. Every single talent can be used. But here's what. Every talent that the people out there paying you for, that you make money off of, should be invested inside of you. Because they are paying you for it, and you have it. If you are a taxi driver, and I've said this already, if you are a taxi driver, we should not have a problem with getting people home, because you do that for a living. If you are skilled with technology, we shouldn't be having to fight up with how are we going to get on website, how are we going to be dealing with WhatsApp and all of that, because you already have the talent. The reason why God has blessed you with it is so that you can find out, how could I bless God now with it? But instead of saying, they should be doing that, nobody asks me and so on, we should be able to say, here, my Lord, use me. Use my talent. Use a skill. And there are people that we use in the church because we know their skill. The form that we have, your membership form, would say what your skills are and so on. And one of the things that I'm so happy for is because we have access to so much skill, and people give it willingly. Whenever you go and ask people, yeah, yes, we could do that. Yes, I'm willing. Yes, I'm willing, and so on. And that's the spirit that we want, for people to be able to say, I get paid for this. And therefore, I could be able to do it and use it free. I get paid to speak. I get paid to do motivational speaking. You don't need to pay me to do it. I just apply that skill in the church. Whatever skill you have, you apply it right here. So I want to ask you a question. Who is here that does not have a skill? No hands. Who is here that have not been using their skill? Don't put up your hand. Have not been using your skill in the Lord's church. I want you to just ask yourself, am I really being used by God? He commended the one with the 5. He commended the one with the 2. But here's what he told the one with the 1. Wicked, unprofitable, which means we have nothing to gain from you. There are some people, they are quite contented to walk through those doors every Sunday, sit down and be entertained, get up back and go home. They will contribute nothing towards the brotherhood. That's not the kingdom. That's not the commonwealth. That's not how the kingdom operates, because we tell ourselves, when we walk through that door, we try to find something that God could use my talent and my skill for. And one of the things that we'll always be seeking is to keep using people's skills, keep using people's talent, and keep it. Everything that we need for the development of the church is right here with this number of people that we have here. If you really check it, we can do so much, and we can do so much more. If you say, I want to be able to do it, I want to be able to do it. So he says, unprofitable servant, you are no good. I would like to think that on Judgment Day, as we look at this kingdom mentality, that God could be able to watch and use the words. Here are the words that Christ used. Well done, thou good and faithful servant. You have been faithful over a few. I will make you over ruler of many things. Enter into the joy of the Lord. What a wonderful thing to hear. Rather than to hear that you are such a wicked and unprofitable servant. You know that I was hard. Instead of you invest my money, and even if you put it in a bank, I'm not into savings, but even if you put it in a bank, you will get at least an interest. It's still an investment. Because he was looking for investment. But yet, you dig a hole, you bury it, and you are the same way as you are. Never let your birthday meet you with the same scale. Never let your life be moving from one year to the next and you haven't become better at who you are. Always move from one stage to the next. So having heard that, the master said this, give me the one that you have. I'm so mad at you. And I'm going to take it and I'm going to give it to the man who has 2. No, the man with 10. Why didn't he give it to the man with 2? With 4? Who made 4? Why? The 10 can handle it. You notice that rich people always seem to win lotto? Rich people seem to get rich. Riches follow riches. Poverty follow poverty. So, there are times that God knows when He has seen what we have used. You have been faithful with little, you can handle much. You can't run. You can't see somebody squander money, squander their life, squander their things, and invest in them. You have to watch somebody who's doing something with their life and tell yourself, this person is faithful in little, therefore they deserve more because they can do more. If I could take a 5 and make 10, what will he do if he has 10 plus 1 and he has 11? What would he do with it? How much is he going to have? 22. That's why give it to that man. And there are some people, God, you see, there are some people, their life is blessing after blessing after blessing. Why? Because they are faithful with it. Did they start off with blessing? They start off struggling. They start off squandering. They start off with pain. They start off in trouble just like all of us. But when God sees what they are doing in faith, because they are faithful servants, God said, I'm going to follow blessing after you. And goodness and mercy shall follow you. And I will make sure blessing after blessing go after you. Because you are faithful. The man with 4 is still blessed. But another time, he's going to also get his blessing. Your blessing is good. But he will never, never bless somebody who's not going anywhere with their life. So what's the parable? In the kingdom, we multiply what we have. We always say, I want to get better. I want to get so good about that. Whatever business you are in, get the best at that business. Whatever talent and skill that you have, become the greatest that you can be. Don't compete with somebody else. You're not trying to be better than somebody else. You're trying to be the best you can be. So when you sing, sing the best you can sing. The person next to you might laugh you. It's all right. Sometimes I'm here and I'm leading song and I see people laugh at me. Yeah? I don't think I don't see them. I see when I hit a bad note, they say, that note not even in the book. I see that, but I'm doing the best I can. God is going to therefore recognize me and say, I am okay with that. Because you're doing the best you can. Yeah. And so therefore, we need to be able to understand this message of the kingdom. The message of the kingdom. Multiply what you have. Use what you have for the glory of God.